Good afternoon, everyone. It's Wednesday, the 24th of November, and you should get this in your inbox on Saturday morning, the 27th of November. As you can see, the colour guard on VectorVest is showing a red light, and the advice is VectorVest does not advocate buying stocks at this time, going into the trading day on Wednesday, the 24th. The buy-sell ratio has moved down below 1. And the MTI at 1.15, falling over the last few days. So, in summary, the short-term trend of the VectorVest Composite UK has been down for 5 a week now. Our confirmed call is still up. And I've got the VectorVest Composite loaded here. And as you can see, we've struggled at this old high, and the market has come off, if I got that up to date, and come off for the last few days. The buy-sell ratio is below 1. As you can see, this has made a double top, that's made a falling top, and not a great deal of evidence from divergences. So we just need to sit this pullback out, folks. We're seeing a similar situation, if not a worse situation, on the American market. The situation may have changed considerably by Saturday morning, but I can't see much happening between now and then, as it's an American long weekend. And my belief is that most of the major directional moves come from there. Famous last words, maybe. If we have a look at VectorVest and go into Unisearch, that's the Unisearch that I spoke about. It's my own version of superstars. I apply it to the FTSE 350 because of liquidity, and because I get about 200 emails if I suggest a stock that's got a large spread. What I've done, because I manage risk myself, and I manage risk, I think, reasonably well, I pulled down the relative safety to 1, and I pushed up the relative value to 1.4, because I firmly believe that in fact causes the share price to move. I'm looking at the FTSE 350. In this manifestation of the Unisearch, I've taken out financial trusts, and I want the stock's forecast earnings growth rate to be 20%. That's pretty much what I had in the essay. So it's sorted by the master indicator VST. Out of that, and I own quite a few stocks in it, but out of that, the stock that really hit me between the eyes, and I spoke about it on Monday afternoon at the Q&A, is FUTR. I also talked about it in the blog this week. So I've got the chart. Well, before we go to the chart, you can see that it's trading above the VectorVest valuation. So it's not it's not a conservative search. The RV is 1.59. That's outstanding. The RS is 1.38. That's very good. The RT, the short-term trend, is down, folks. So it's trending down, but the long-term trend is through the roof at 1.61. It's currently on a hold recommendation, and VectorVest believes it's going to go earnings next year at 37%. So we've got a share with great fundamentals, trading above the VectorVest valuation. It's got a strong track record of making money. Short-term trend is trending sideways to down. The longer-term trend is great. So let's have a look at the chart. There's the chart, folks. And I know my background is as a chartist. So first of all, when I see a share pulling back to a major old high, that resistance has become support, and as you can see, we've got a hammer candle pattern or a pin bar candle pattern, and this tail on candles, invariably institutional people. Retail people tend to buy the high of the day with confirmation. The institutional people have been around the block, and they're the people who step in and cause the tail on the candle. So that's positive. And this is pulled back in a flag formation, and that flag formation is very positive indeed. It's what the chap who's written the book on chart patterns, a guy called Tom Bolkowski, would call a tight flag. And in the flag 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 waves, that's also healthy. But as we saw on Volex moved up out of the flag that it had, but then it failed. So JD Sports just kept on going, if you remember, from the same type of flag. Have a look at the flags on Volex, have a look at the flags on JD Sports. Now, this share, as you can see, came off this line which defined the top resistance level of the flag, and this is what Richard Wyckoff would have called the supply line, and I hope I've drawn it in the right place, somewhere like that, give or take a tick. And as you can see, some of the short-term people couldn't resist taking some profits up at that fairly predictable level that many people will be looking at. We're on a hold recommendation here. Now, if I put on the MACD, moving average converging diverging, an indicator designed by a chap I used to know quite well called Jerry Appel, and we have to look right back, folks, for the guts of a year, 9 months to March, and I can see that this price is rising, but that is falling, and that's a reverse divergence. The reverse divergence has been going on since March. So that's a huge reverse divergence on this particular share. Earnings per share rising strongly, going up from 90 pence odd to one forecast earnings per share. Where are we? To about 130. And that's quite a clip. And so what to do? Well, first of all, we need to wait until the advice. We've still got a confirmed up in place. We need to wait for the short-term trend of the VectorVest composite to come back in line with the longer-term trend. And we need to wait, I think, for this to break the top of that flag. And I think at the same time it'll probably print a VectorVest buy recommendation. So the strategy is to do nothing but watch. Doing nothing is much more difficult than it would seem, I know. But a break above that level, a couple of closes above that level, and printing a VectorVest buy signal, this should in fact precede a very strong trending move out of the stock. Now, the target and the technical target would be this bit repeated, folks. So we're playing for quite a bit here. That's what's called in classical charting the flagpole, and that would be, I think, 1500 to nearly 40. So that's a hell of a target here. So there's an awful lot at stake here. There'll be plenty in it when the move confirms itself. So wait for a break above that top line, a couple of closes above that line, wait for a buy signal. And I think that share will perform, assuming the general market can hang in there. I think that we can quite easily have a pullback or a sideways motion on the S&P 500, which will immediately cross the Atlantic to the FTSE 100 after that big move that we've had up on the S&P on the American markets. I think we're probably due for a corrective period that could last the first couple of weeks of December before we move again. So just be very careful out there, but future to me looks like a high probability trade that's setting up, and I'm looking forward to it. So have a great weekend, folks. See you on Monday morning, Monday afternoon, 1:30. Bye-bye.